Hello and welcome to the Public Consultation Centre for the Arthur Street Improvements and Potential Elmira Bypass Class Environmental Assessment. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation and learn more about this study. Your input is extremely valuable to us. As part of the Region of Waterloo's ongoing commitment to reconciliation, the following territorial acknowledgement serves to honor the ongoing relationship building process with Indigenous communities. This acknowledgement is a continual reminder of the past, current, and ongoing work that the region must undertake in its steps towards truth and reconciliation. The region of Waterloo is situated on the land traditionally used by the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Neutral peoples. We acknowledge the enduring process and the traditional knowledge, contributions, and philosophies of the Indigenous peoples with whom we share the land today. The purpose of this PCC is to provide an overview of the study area, study purpose, study process, and study timeline, review the existing conditions and key design constraints in the study area, review the transportation analysis, review the applicable policies and design guidelines, identify the design alternatives being considered, and discuss the next steps, including how you can provide comments and input to this study. As an introduction to this presentation, the following slides will review background information for the study area. We'll also define the purpose of the study and the municipal class environmental assessment process that will be used. This Class EA study is really two projects in one, broken into separate but related parts as follows. Part A, Arthur Street Improvements. It's approximately 6 kilometers of existing Arthur Street, Regional Road 85, from north end of the city of Waterloo to the southern limits of the town of Elmira. Part B, Elmira Bypass, focuses on improving conditions for the Elmira downtown core by assessing a possible bypass route around the town. The study aligns with the region's strategic plan 2023 to 2027, Growing with Care. It aligns with the strategy Climate-Aligned Growth by using a climate adaptation lens to reimagine infrastructure and by making it easier and safer for people to use transit and active transportation. It aligns with the strategy Equitable Services and Opportunities by supporting equitable services such as reliable transit and safer walking, rolling, and cycling options. The scope of work for both parts of the project are identified in the region's 2018 Transportation Master Plan. The Transportation Master Plan encourages the region to slow implementation of future road widening projects and proactively manage transportation demand by encouraging change in travel behaviors. The study will also align with the region's official plan 2031 and Transform WR. The official plan includes the objective of increasing transportation opportunities for pedestrians, cyclists, and transit users. Regional Council plus all area municipal councils have endorsed Transform WR, which includes the 80 by 50 target, aiming for an 80% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. The plan has targets to significantly reduce the share of trips made by automobiles by 2050 by supporting walking, rolling, biking, and using public transit. The township has recently completed 2 key projects that inform this EA study. The 2022 Core Urban Design Study focuses on improvements for Elmira's downtown core, and more specifically, improvements that promote pedestrian-oriented environment. The 2023 Active Transportation Master Plan highlights the importance of safe and attractive municipal and regional cycling corridors, which builds on the regional plan with a focus on Woolwich. The region's long-term plans include multiple projects around the study area. This EA study and the evaluation of alternatives will consider potential synergies related to these planned improvements with the goal of optimizing the preferred solution to align with future works. The township's official plan identifies existing land use as well as several key areas for growth, including new residential developments on the west side of town and commercial industrial areas in the east. There are limitations to the potential long-term growth in Elmira. For example, the capacity of the existing wastewater treatment plant cannot be increased without significant and costly expansions to the existing plant and/or construction of a new plant. These limitations have been included in the region's growth projections for the area. History of population growth in Elmira, along with the growth projections defined in the official plan, were used to inform the transportation analysis and to help develop an understanding of existing and future transportation needs. Elmira is projected to grow faster than it has in the past, with the 2051 population and employment expected to be roughly double than what they are now. Municipal Class EA process is an important planning tool that seeks to ensure that optimal decisions are made for the future design and construction of major public infrastructure. The process includes 5 phases, as shown, with stakeholder consultation throughout. For this project, we're currently in the second phase, where we develop and evaluate alternative solutions to the EA problem statement. The EA problem and opportunity statement was defined through extensive discussion between the region and township staff and using background information and guiding documents. The formal statement, which will serve as the main driver for this study, aims to capture a comprehensive definition of the goal of the project and the key issues that need to be addressed. This slide summarizes the key aspects of that statement. Next, we'll summarize the existing conditions within the study area and highlight some of the key design features and constraints that will need to be considered. We start with the existing natural features within and surrounding the study areas. Detailed mapping showing existing watercourses, wetlands, and woodlots along with their associated buffers were documented. In Part A, the key environmental features relate to the Conestoga River, which crosses the Arthur Street corridor south of Sawmill Road, as well as a number of additional culverts that facilitate the crossing of smaller tributaries. The Part B study area, there are a number of natural features to consider, with the main one being the Kanagajik Creek and its associated floodplain, tributary branches, and wetland complexes. There are a number of additional features that could be significantly impacted by this project. An existing bridge spans 130 meters across the Conestoga River. It is currently in good condition and includes 2 lanes for vehicle travel, but does not have any facilities for walking and cycling. Widening and/or replacement of the bridge would result in very high costs that are not currently in the region's capital program. And construction activity could also have significant environmental impacts related to the aquatic habitat of the river below. There are also a number of existing culverts and infrastructure crossings along the Arthur Street corridor that need to be considered regarding any potential improvements to the roadway. The existing roundabout at Arthur Street and Sawmill Road handles daily traffic volumes and is a key part of the transportation corridor. While the roundabout includes some facilities for walking, cycling, and horse-drawn buggies, there is no suitable active transportation infrastructure along Arthur Street for them to connect to. This existing culvert allows horse-drawn buggies as well as people cycling leaving St. Jacobs to safely cross beneath Arthur Street, connecting to the trail along the east side leading towards Elmira. This trail merges into and is replaced by the paved shoulder adjacent to vehicular lanes, approximately 150 meters north of the culvert crossing. The existing intersection at the south end of Elmira currently experiences congestion and delays during peak hours. The current conditions lack appropriate walking, rolling, and cycling facilities. The north end of the Elmira downtown core includes the major intersection of Arthur Street and Line 86 Church Street. The intersection was recently upgraded. However, some buildings are close to the road, which may be a limitation for further improvements. At the northwest corner of Elmira, the region constructed a new roundabout at the intersection of Floradale Road and Church Street Line 86 to improve traffic operations and safety. Kanagajuk Creek is a major watercourse just east of the town of Elmira. Some potential bypass alignments will require a new bridge crossing of this watercourse. There is also known soil and groundwater contamination in the vicinity of the creek related to past industrial activity, which could potentially impact the construction of a new bridge crossing. Another key feature is the Elmira downtown core. This study needs to consider the township's 2022 urban design study, which identified a pedestrian-oriented vision for the Elmira downtown area. Additionally, the EA study is being used to inform a concurrent Region of Waterloo project for the reconstruction of Arthur Street through the downtown core. Next, we'll look at the transportation analysis that was completed. The following outlines some of the key issues considered and summarizes the analysis results. The key intersections that were considered in the analysis and traffic modeling include Arthur Street as Sawmill Road, Listowel Road, and Church Street. There are also new and/or planned improvements at the intersections of Listowel Road and Three Bridges Road, Listowel Road and Floradale Road at Church Street. An important parameter for the transportation analysis is the level of service. Multimodal level of service analysis offers a measure of how well the road corridor serves people walking, rolling, cycling, using transit, and driving, as well as goods movements. In general, a level of service A is considered to be the best case, whereas a level of service F is considered a failure condition. The analysis assessed the level of service for all modes at key locations. For the segment between Sawmill Road and Listowel Street, the level of service for active transportation modes is a failure condition. Similarly, the level of service for active transportation modes at the intersections of Arthur Street at Listowel Road and at Church Street are also failure conditions. The key findings for Part A Arthur Street improvements are: approximately 25,000 people currently use the corridor daily. Projections show that this number will increase to up to 39,000 people daily by 2054. Vehicle safety is adequate. Speeds and delays are not problematic between intersections. However, there are more collisions between vehicles and people walking and biking than there should be, given the relatively small number of people not in vehicles. Sections between intersections are not at capacity. Widening to 4 lanes is not justified based on traffic volumes or vehicular safety concerns. Intersection improvements at Listowel Road are required to reduce delay. Active transportation facilities are inadequate along the corridor. The key results of the analysis for Part B Elmira Bypass are: trucks in the downtown core are undesirable. There are approximately 1,050 trucks that use the Arthur Street corridor within the town of Elmira each day. However, most trucks travel to or from destinations within Elmira's industrial area. If a bypass road existed, only approximately 300 or 29% of the trucks on Arthur Street would use it each day. The projected volume of traffic that would use a bypass is very low, estimated at 2,300 in 2022 and up to 3,500 in 2054, or approximately 10% of the total vehicle volume on Arthur Street. Before we move on to look at the alternatives that are being considered, it's appropriate to review the technical guidelines that will guide the future design. These include the Geometric Design Guide for Canadian Roads from the Transportation Association of Canada, the region's context-sensitive Regional Transportation Corridor Guidelines, which provide design standards for planning and designing complete streets that include space for all modes of transportation, and the Ontario Traffic Manual Book 18, Cycling Facilities. This EA study will refer to these guidelines while also following the latest best practices that have emerged since their publication. Next, let's review the alternative solutions that are being considered for the two parts of the study. In Part A, the alignment of the road is already defined, so the alternatives focus on how the cross-section of the road looks. The existing road cross-section changes throughout the corridor. South of the study area, Arthur Street becomes Provincial Highway 85, which is a 4-lane divided highway with a 50-meter wide center median and gravel shoulders. Arthur Street within the study area is a 2-lane undivided rural cross-section until the approach at the roundabout at Sawmill Road. Then about 1 kilometer north of Sawmill Road, the cross-section changes to include paved shoulders that are intended to support horse-drawn buggies and cycling. The existing width of the right-of-way varies along the corridor, especially near the Conestoga River and Highway 85. But from Sawmill Road to Listle Road, it is generally considered to have a width of 30 meters. 3 alternative cross-sections are considered in addition to the do-nothing option. The do-nothing alternative is always considered in EA studies. In the case of Part A, this will mean maintaining the existing road cross-section, which has been identified as deficient specifically because it lacks suitable active transportation facilities. Alternative 1 aims to replicate the highway conditions south of the study area, with 4 lanes of traffic and a 50-meter wide center median. This would result in the need to widen the Conestoga River Bridge, significant property impacts, and the need for land acquisition. At the approach to the intersection at Listle Road, additional lanes would be introduced to improve queuing and delays. This slide shows a picture of Alternative 1 in both plan view at the top and cross-sectional view at the bottom. Alternative 2 aims to address the significant property requirements of Alternative 1 by replacing the 50-meter wide center median with a much narrower concrete jersey barrier median. Like Alternative 1, intersection improvements at Listle Road would also be included. This slide shows a picture of Alternative 2 in both plan view at the top and cross-sectional view at the bottom. Although there are less property impacts, it still requires buying some property along most of the 6-kilometer corridor, and the Conestoga River Bridge would still need to be widened. Alternative 3 maintains the existing 2 lanes of traffic and adds a multi-use trail along the outside edge of the right-of-way. This mitigates property impacts, recognizing that the transportation analysis identified that traffic volumes and vehicular safety conditions do not justify widening of the roadway to 4 lanes. The trail would be intended for people walking, rolling, cycling, and using horse-drawn buggies. Like the previous options, intersection improvements at Listle Road would also be included. This slide shows a picture of Alternative 3 in both plan view at the top and cross-sectional view at the bottom. This alternative eliminates most property impacts along the majority of the 6-kilometer corridor. Inside the town of Elmira, Arthur Street is a north-south urban road that goes through the downtown core. The alternatives being considered for Part B focus on the alignment of the bypass. The intent is to redirect through truck traffic away from the downtown core to allow for improvements to active transportation facilities within the town. Like Part A, we include the do-nothing alternative for consideration. While it may have the lowest construction cost, it does not address the problems and opportunities. Alternative 1 uses the existing road network to direct through traffic around the west side of Elmira. This would include upgrades to Listle Road, Floridale Road, and Reed Woods Drive. Arthur Street through the town would be designated as a no-through trucks route. Active transportation facilities would be recommended to be added along and/or parallel to Arthur Street. Alternative 2 considers a new road alignment or new regional road on the east side of Elmira. The new road would need new intersections with Arthur Street both north and south of the town, as well as with Line 86. A bridge crossing of the Kanagaji Creek would also be required, along with culvert crossings for smaller tributaries. Like Alternative 1, Arthur Street through the town would be designated as a no-through trucks route, and active transportation facilities would be recommended along and/or parallel to Arthur Street. If this alternative is identified as the preferred option, the final alignment will be vetted and confirmed at a later stage. Alternative 3 uses Union Street to convey vehicles and specifically trucks from the south into the commercial and industrial areas on the east side of town. Union Street ends at Herb Street. This alternative would extend Union Street north approximately 280 meters across private property to connect with Church Street, line 86, just west of the existing bridge over the Kanagaji Creek. Then a new road east of the existing developed areas would connect Church Street to or north of Kenning Place. Like alternatives 1 and 2, Arthur Street through the town would be designated as a no-through trucks route, and active transportation facilities would be recommended along and/or parallel to Arthur Street. This alternative would include the acquisition of additional property to extend Union Street to connect with Church Street, line 86, and for the new road to connect Church Street to or north of Kenning Place. The specific alignment for the new portions of this alternative are not currently defined and are subject to further consultation and development. As the details for the alternatives under consideration continue to be developed, the next step in the EA process is to evaluate them against each other to determine the preferred solutions for both parts of the study. It is typical in an EA study to evaluate alternatives against criteria categorized by impacts to the natural environment, social environment, technical environment, and economic environment or cost. The evaluation will mainly focus on criteria that allows for clear identification of the difference between the alternatives, but the study will consider all applicable design parameters to address all relevant issues. Once the key criteria are identified, each alternative will be scored based on its impacts or benefits in comparison to the other options. The alternative with the least impacts and/or greater benefits will be the preferred alternative. The project team is seeking input from the public and key stakeholders regarding their perspective on what the defining criteria for this evaluation should be. We hope that this has helped you understand more about this EA study. If needed, please feel free to revisit the previous slides. Now let's discuss the next steps. We are seeking input about the alternatives and the evaluation criteria. Please complete the survey on the Engage WR page. You can also provide comments or ask questions by contacting the region's project manager listed on the next slide. We also recommend you subscribe to the Engage WR page to get updates about the project and future opportunities to participate. The project team is receiving feedback from October 28 to November 22nd, 2024. Following this Public Consultation Centre, the project team will review and respond to questions and comments tracking all feedback, review the alternatives considering comments received, and make changes as appropriate. Prepare further details and complete the evaluation process so that a recommendation for a preferred solution can be made. This recommendation will then be presented at the next PCC. Thank you for watching this video presentation and for your interest in this project. We appreciate your time and interest.